All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something that's completely changing how we think about AI. We're moving past the simple chatbots that just, answer questions. We're building intelligent AI agents that can actually do things. This is all about giving AI the ability to take real action, and the framework we're digging into is Microsoft Semantic Kernel.
So let's just start with this one big question. What if AI could do more than just talk? I mean, imagine an AI that doesn't just give you a fact, but acts like an autonomous problem solver. One that can take a complex request, break it down into steps, and then actually go and execute them. That's the core idea we're unpacking today.
So, to really get our heads around how we build these AIs that take action, we first have to look beyond the chatbot. Let's start by pinning down what a modern AI agent actually is.
Let's get specific. The official definition says an AI agent uses a large language model, that's its brain, right, to understand what you're asking for. But, and this is the key, it doesn't stop there. It then makes decisions and, crucially, it calls on tools to perform real actions before it gives you a final answer. It's that full loop, understand, reason, act, that makes it a true agent.
And this is a perfect example of how it works in the real world. Think about having to analyze, say, thousands of call center recordings. An AIO agent system could totally own this whole workflow. First, it would transcribe the audio into text. Then it would use its smarts to pull out the important stuff, like who the customer is and what product they're talking about. After that, it could figure out if the customer is happy or upset, and finally, wrap it all up in a nice, neat summary report. See, it's not just one simple task, it's a whole multi-step process, all orchestrated by AI.
Now, a single agent is powerful for sure, but for the really complicated problems, you're going to need a whole team. And that brings us to our next idea, orchestrating teams of these AI agents and how you get them all working together like a well-oiled machine.
So why do you even need a team? Well, a single agent is great for direct, simple tasks, but it can get bogged down when a problem needs a bunch of different skills or way too many tools. A multi-agent system, though, is built for that kind of complexity. It's like the project manager, dishing out tasks to specialized agents and coordinating everything to solve a much bigger problem.
And there's not just one way to get them working together. The semantic kernel actually gives you a few common patterns. If you can break a problem into smaller pieces, you might use a concurrent pattern. Think of a bunch of analysts all tackling the problem from different angles at once. For a workflow with multiple stages, you'd go sequential, where the output of one agent becomes the input for the next. And for really complex stuff, you can even have them all jump into a dynamic group chat to brainstorm a solution.
Okay, so we've got our agents, and we've got a way to make them work as a team. But what actually gives them their individual abilities? Well, that's where plugins come in. These are basically the superpowers that let an agent interact with the real world.
And this is absolutely crucial. An LLM by itself is just a brain in a jar. It can think, but it can't do anything. To talk to an API or a database or any other system, it needs tools. So, how do we give it those tools?
The first stab at this in Semantic Kernel was a thing called planners. Now, they were pretty clever, but they worked by using these really complex prompts to try and trick the AI into creating a step-by-step plan. It worked, kind of, but it was a very indirect way of doing things. That approach is actually deprecated now.
The modern way to do it is so much cleaner. Native function calling. Most of the new big models have this built right in. So instead of just hinting at a plan, the model can literally say, I need to run the get_lights function with this specific ID. It's a huge leap forward in making these agents reliable and precise. And the best part is, Semantic Kernel automates this entire loop for you. A user sends a prompt, the kernel shows the LLM what functions are available, and the LLM decides if it needs a tool. If it does, it asks the kernel to run it. The kernel executes the code, sends the result right back to the LLM, and the LLM uses that new piece of info to figure out the next step or just give you the final answer. It's this awesome continuous cycle of thought, action, and observation. Now, we've been throwing the word kernel around a lot, and it's pretty much the glue holding all of this together. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the core component that makes everything we've talked about even possible. So, what is the kernel, exactly? Just think of it as the central nervous system for your entire AI application. For any developers out there, the best analogy is probably a dependency injection container. It's the one central hub where you register and manage all the different services and plugins that your AI needs to do its job. The kernel is basically juggling two main things. First, you have services. This is where you plug in your AI models, like from Azure OpenAI, but it also handles other stuff like logging and telemetry. And second, you have the plugins. That's the collection of tools and functions we just talked about, the code that represents all the actions your AI can take.
The kernel knows about all of them and makes them available to the LLM.
Okay, time to bring it all home. In this last section, we're going to follow a single user request from beginning to end to see how all these pieces, the agent, the plugins, the kernel, all work together in perfect harmony.
You type in a request, you hit enter. Seems simple, right? But behind the scenes, there's this really sophisticated dance going on. So what exactly is happening in those few seconds? Let's walk through it. Step 1. The user says, please toggle the lamp. Simple enough. But the LLM is smart. It realizes toggle is ambiguous. It can't act without knowing the current state. So step 2, it intelligently calls the getLights function. Step 3, the kernel runs that code and tells the LLM the light is currently on. Aha! Now the LLM has the info it needs. Step 4, it calls the changeState function to turn the light off. Finally, in step 5, the kernel executes that command and the LLM can generate the final helpful response. Okay, I've turned the lamp off for you.
And this brings us to a super important piece of advice. Know when not to use an AI agent. If a task is predictable and you can just handle it with regular code, then just write a function for it. You should save agents for their real magic, which is handling ambiguity and dynamic situations, not for simple, well-defined tasks.
And here's one more crucial best practice. When you're giving tools to your agent, try not to just dump everything on it. The official recommendation is to avoid giving an agent more than about 20 tools in a single go. Once you go past that number, the model's ability to pick the right tool for the job starts to go down. It's all about giving it a focused, powerful toolkit, not a cluttered, confusing one.
So the big takeaway here is pretty clear. The tech to build these autonomous AI agents that can reason, plan, and actually take action in the world isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, and it's accessible with frameworks like Semantic Kernel. This just blows the doors wide open for automating complex stuff and solving problems in ways we couldn't before. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?